Hello, everyone. It's us again with Felicia and Jen. I'm Felicia.
And I'm Jen.
And Jen, who do we have with us today?
Today we have Bryttiany.
Yay! Bryttiany!
She is a race car driver. And
Yes.
I'm just going to let you know that Felicia and I, of course I'm speaking for Felicia, we don't know much about racing. All I know is NASCAR and you keep turning left.
All I know is get in the car, put your foot on the gas, and go fast.
I believe that's all we know. So introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about your racing.
Okay, so my name is Bryttiany. I've been racing for a little over a year. I race at the track at MIR.
Okay.
Most of the time, yeah. So
is it in a circle?
No, it's not in a circle. No.
An oval?
Nope, it's in no shapes. It's a straight line. So like NASCAR is it's based off of laps. So you get like points. You finish, like you have your places, but you also have points for different races. I do bracket racing. You can bracket race for points. I don't. I just bracket race for fun. But you basically, it's hard to explain, I guess, but you're racing yourself essentially. So you get a couple of runs to see how your car is doing. And then your main goal in the whole thing is not to be the fastest. It's to be the most consistent. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm thinking you have to get fast time.
But doesn't fast count at all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, fast is fun. Fast is what you want. Like fast. Okay. Yeah, you have different, you have different classes that you race in. They kind of break everybody up. I race in a street class. So the car that I race, you can still drive it to the street. So I've actually taken it down the track and then gone to the grocery store afterwards.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So you don't have to trailer it or anything like that. I mean, there's definitely different levels
what
of
makes
cars.
It inconsistent? Like, what would be inconsistent?
Human error.
Okay. Like going off the track?
No. Like, so when you, so I guess like the layout of how you do it is you get in the staging lanes. So it's 2 lanes. And then you pull up to the water box. So you can choose to do a burnout or not. So after you do that, you pull up to the beam. They're called beams. It's 2 sets of beams. So it's set and stage, pull up. When it trips the light, it's called a tree. It counts down, and then your goal is to cut the light as close as possible without your tire rolling through the beam too early. So that's the main goal, if that makes sense.
Is this something you practice? Because I'm sitting here listening to it, because I'm like, what? How do you know to do this or do that? Was it a training?
No, it's basically you just decide to do it one day and you.
So you can just show up.
And do it. Yeah.
You can just show up. So we can just show up.
Yes. And you could just show up in what you drive.
Like my little Subaru,
Yep.
my little 4-cylinder. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't, there are people, I have seen people, who are in mostly, stock cars that just come, they just want to have fun. They just want to go and go as fast as they can within either a quarter mile or 1/8 mile, depending on what you're doing and what event you're at. And then, that's their goal. Yeah. So when you go, you get a couple, like I said, it depends. It depends on different events and how many people they have and stuff like that. But, after you do, your trial runs, you dial in a time. So you take a chalk marker, you write on your window what you say your car is going to do. And then, they kind of stagger it. So obviously, like in my case, if I dial in my car, typically it's like 13:10. So I am telling you that I will go down this track in 13.1 seconds. I will get from the line to the end of the quarter mile in that amount of time. But I could race somebody who dialed their car in at like 10 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 3 seconds makes a big difference. So when the lights drop down the tree, they're staggered. So he or she is paying attention to their light. I'm only paying attention to my light. I'm not looking at what they're doing. So, and it's the end goal. It's supposed to be staggered in a way that in the ideal perfect world, if you both had like a 00 reaction time or 000 reaction time, that you would get to the end at the exact same time. So that's where you have to be really on it with the light. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Yeah. So
I feel like there should be a documentary.
Right?
It's cool. It's a big adrenaline rush. But it's a good time. It's a really, really good time.
Oh. I'm like intrigued. I don't know why I had it in my mind that you're getting in a car. There's another card and it says go. And there's the checkered flag.
Yeah. I mean, it's with, I guess more advanced cars and like there are people that definitely, this is their whole life. They are sponsored. Their cars are dialed in they are so consistent. It's unreal. I am definitely at the bottom of the pyramid when it comes. I am definitely not high up. These cars are, the things that are done to them are insane. Like I said, they're sponsored. But when you have those type of cars, they're very, very, very consistent. So it is kind of nail biting until you get to the end. Like when they both go through the beams, there's barely like an inch of a bumper that separates the two of them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Are there any other women? Are there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a lot of women. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's definitely a lot.
So how did you get started into this?
So my dad raced, just the same kind of level. It's actually the same car. He had a truck and the car that I currently race. So, I just watched him do it, and eventually it got to the point where he decided he liked it. He liked racing, but he knew that I really liked it. And so he just kind of handed the keys over and was like, give it a shot, see if you like it. So he's my right hand when it comes to that.
So does he work on the cars?
Mm-hmm. So it was his car. Actually, the car that I race, he bought for my mom as a Christmas present when I was a child. And so he bought the car, and she seen it on our insurance statement. And this is like, when you used to call your mom when they were at work, and you'd have to call the work number and say, hey, can I talk to such and such? So she seen it on the statement, and she freaked out, and she was calling to cancel the insurance. And I took the house phone and was like, Mom, I have to call my friend, and was acting like a brat, but I was really calling my dad. And I was like, you have to come home now because she's canceling the insurance on the car you bought.
Was she excited?
She was excited afterwards, but she was not excited at that time because she thought that she was paying insurance on a car that she didn't own. So it was a lot of confusion.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how fast? Like, what's the fastest you've ever driven?
So the car that I have, it's like I said, I'm not setting a land speed record. So when I get to the end of the track, when I get to the quarter mile, I'm doing like 109, 10-ish.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
More than 55 miles per hour.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. It's crazy because time slows down. Like I feel like it's taking me forever to get there. There are people that get there a lot quicker, but yeah.
This might be stealing one of your questions, Jen, but what do you wear when you're racing?
So because I race in the street class, I don't have to wear anything specific technically.
Okay.
I don't have to, other than a helmet. I do have to wear a helmet. But I don't have to wear anything, like I don't have to wear a fire suit. I don't have to have like a 5-point harness seat. I have racing style seats in the car because they are lighter, so it takes the weight off, but I don't have, kind of like how an infant car seat would look. So
that's pretty cool. So I'm envisioning like this big thing, like you go to race day and you're like, I'm going to beat everybody. And then, but there's just that one person that you just like, you have to beat them. Like, do you have any racing enemies? Like when you get there, that's your competition and you're going to beat them.
You don't have to say their name.
No.
So I don't, honestly, I don't, there's nobody,
it could be us. It could be the enemy.
So I think everybody kind of has, like when you line up, when you get in, they call your class and they'll say, street ET lanes, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, whichever one it is, you get in and you stage. You kind of always count like, ooh, I'm going to be racing this car, and you kind of size them up a little bit, and everybody's kind of looking at each other. But I will say I'm not a sports person, but racing has some of the best people, because there are definitely times I've seen people that they get all the way up, they're ready to, make their pass, and then their car, that something happens, they need something, or they need a tool or whatever, and they don't have it. And people are so willing to help, even though you're technically their competition. So it's a cool sport in that regard. It's really cool.
Very cool.
You mentioned MIR.
Mhm.
Where is that?
In Butts Creek.
Butts Creek. Is that in St. Mary's County?
You've never been there before?
I've driven past it.
Oh.
I've never been.
I went one time for demolition derby. That was fun.
But that's the dirt track.
Okay.
So that's the one that they do go around in circles, and that's a whole different kind of racing that I do not do, and they deserve a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, because you always
because
hear about people crashing.
yes, they definitely. They get a lot of cars on the track, and they are so close. I don't even think you could fit a piece of paper between them. They deserve all the recognition.
They're street cars too, right? Like there's no like real race car with that. They're just your
No,
average.
so demolition derby is
Right,
those
well,
are
that's
street
like-
cars. Those are the ones that somebody's like, I'm not fixing this. Let's just enter it.
Right,
Let's tear it
right.
up. But no, when it comes to like dirt track cars, no, they are a specific type of car, and that's a lot of money in there. So
Yeah. So they're making money if they win and stuff.
yeah, I think most of them. I mean, I don't know because I don't participate in that type of racing. But I do think a lot of them have sponsors and things like that.
I think you would have to.
Yeah.
You might do a lot of work and
Yeah.
a car and things like that.
It's funny because my husband's uncle, he owns one of the cars. He doesn't actually race it, but he has a driver for that car, and then his children race. So he's got he's in multiple classes. But it's funny because that's like his family's thing is they're really into the dirt track, and then I'm through the woods on the straight track. So I'm like, no. It's two different sides of that one strip of woods, but
Yeah, I went to the demolition derby one time, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was so much fun because people just buy these clunkers. I swear that's what they do. They just buy these clunkers. They make them like crazy looking, and they just try and destroy each other's car.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
I have given a lot of thought to driving a demolition derby car. Just
Do it.
once. Yeah. We have a neighbor of ours that does it, and I'm like,
Do it. Could you
I
get a
could tear something
sponsor
up.
in your class? Could you do it? And what you're doing now? Could you get sponsors?
maybe, possibly if I
We
was a
would
little
sponsor
better,
you,
and
but we don't know what that entails. So never mind.
if I was a little better and maybe was a little more consistent, like I said, I do it for fun. I think it's a lot of fun. It's just something, it's kind of one of those. I'll call my dad, or he'll call me, and he'll say, "Hey, this is coming up. Do you want to do it?" Or, "Hey, there's Midnight Madness this Friday," or whichever one. So it's not something it's not something you're obligated to do every single weekend. It's, at least in my case, it's not. It's a lot more of just, it's nice weather. It's a beautiful evening.
So you don't have to let them know you're showing up?
No. Nope.
Oh.
Just
Nope.
show right up.
Oh, I'm thinking, okay. Jen, like seriously, what kind of car you got?
I just drive a Subaru.
I mean, we can go out there in the Subaru. I mean, I don't want to mess my truck up, but we can do it.
Yeah, right. Just mess up my car. I wonder if my insurance would cover it. Be like, hey, I was racing this weekend.
No,
Totaled
they
my
don't.
car.
No, they don't cover it. You're on your own. So
Now,
Drag it out to Butts Creek Road, make sure it was an
I
accident.
know you have siblings.
I do. I have two brothers.
Where are they in racing?
They don't race. My one brother, he is busy kind of right now being a dad, doing the dad thing. So he's just not, he's got other things he's working on. And then my youngest brother, he has actually the same type of car. But his is more for looking at, he's more for the driving down the road.
Did you ever tell us what the car is?
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't think I did. So it's an 02 Grand Marquis.
Okay.
So yeah, Mercury Grand Marquis. So it is the epitome of a grandma car, except for she is not your average. It's not the one that your grandma was driving to church in every Sunday.
So it's like souped up and stuff. Does it have like
Yes, yeah. So it actually has, it's still a 2-valve. It's a stock motor that was in the stock bottom end anyway. But it has, without getting too technical, it has a couple mods done to the motor. It has some mods done with the transmission. It has a different rear, so the gears are different. There's quite a few things done to it. It's got exhaust, so it's super loud. I mean, so it's, we just recently wrapped it. We vinyl wrapped it. We were on the fence about painting it a different color, so it didn't have kind of that stock silver that everyone's used to. We chose not to paint it. We just vinyl wrapped it in the driveway. So, yeah.
So do you think that being a driver on like doing what you do racing makes you a better daily driver, or do you think that you just want to go fast all the time?
No, I don't know. That's like a hard question because I feel like I'm a good driver. Anyway, I really do. I feel like I'm a pretty decent driver. But I do it's definitely a different type of driving, and it's definitely like a release almost. You know, it's like I don't feel the need to race everyone at every light I come to, because I know that, you know, there's penalties out there in the real world, whereas on the track, that's the point. The point is literally that light drops and it's not like taking off at a light where you give it a little bit of gas or whatever. I mean, you literally go from nothing to on the floor. Like that's it. So I don't think it makes me a better driver, but I guess it is something that I do think about. Like, I don't have to race everybody. And the car I drive daily is not anything that needs to be racing somebody.
I was thinking, like, if you're wanting to, like, if you have that lead foot while you're racing, like, do you want to go fast every day? Like, do you feel like you're going super slow when you're going 55?
Well, it's weird. It is weird when you leave the track, especially after, you know, if you make it quite a few rounds, you know, because you've made so many passes, and each pass, your adrenaline is pumping. I mean, you are like just on another level. So it is weird when you leave and have to drive. Mm-hmm. You know, especially down when you're leaving Budds Creek, you go down a couple back roads and it's like, all right, we're doing 45. Mm-hmm. So it is different, but yeah.
Now, I know that you're married.
Yep.
And you have a son.
Yep.
Where are they in all those racing?
So it's really weird. My husband builds Chevrolet trucks. He is big into, especially older ones. He's big into like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We have quite a few. So he loves them, but he doesn't want to race. And really? He never has raced. Nope. He has never, ever raced. He is more into keeping things unbelievably clean. He spends a lot of money and takes a lot of time cleaning his stuff. But he's more of a car show guy. Okay. He likes to clean them up and just go for cruises, go to the shows, things like that. And then my son is
now is he gonna follow your footsteps?
I don't know, possibly, but it's weird because my husband likes trucks that are lowered. He's definitely into like they're full size trucks, but they're lowered as far as suspension goes. But my son wants them to be jacked up to the sky. Aww. He wants them to be diesel. He wants them to blow black smoke. He wants them to, you know, have the stacks. He tells everyone he's going to be a truck driver.
And he just might.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, he wants to drive like hauling. He wants to haul a truck. He wants a Peterbilt. That's his dream truck. He would love to drive a Peterbilt. So. And he waves at every single one he sees on the road.
Does he like the car shows too with your husband?
He does. Yeah, he does. And he's really good at, I mean, he's only 7, but he can tell you, like, that's a Ford, that's a Chevy.
Oh,
that's
go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah. He can tell you. And sometimes we're working on saying things quietly, because he will say, if he does not like something, he'll just be like, ew. What kind of wheels are those? And I'm like, no. Everybody has their own style, and we do not judge people's style. Because there's people that probably look at me and think, what in the world is she even doing here? But everybody's got their own style.
Do you know if you have haters out there?
I don't.
You don't?
Okay. I don't know.
Why don't we start racing and be one of her haters? Like, we're going to try to.
That would be mean.
It's not mean. It's competition.
We have to hate her competition.
But she knows that we like her. We're doing it for show.
So when she like,
yeah. We'll be like, no, we just drive up next to her and be like, we got you. We're going to beat we're going to do it in 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
I mean, it can happen.
If you do it in 5 seconds, you're going somewhere.
Oh, we should try it.
Yeah.
We might show up in the Subaru.
I don't. No offense, I don't think the Subaru's doing 5 seconds.
Little 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, not at all. So if Felicia and I are not really good drivers, I mean, I can try.
I mean, I'm good. I mean, I'm okay.
Knock on wood, I haven't been.
I stay in the lane.
Accidents. So, like, if I ride shotgun with you, like, can I still get the credit if I
So
if you do really well,
so you can't.
I want to.
Yeah.
There's no shotgun riders?
No. Mm-mm.
But what if we are the encouragement?
Yeah.
You got to encourage from the sidelines. You got to
You
stand in the bleachers.
You could stand in the front. I could stand in the back.
Yeah.
We should ride.
And we'd be like, we encouraged her to beat the number she said on her windshield.
Well, so you don't want to beat it.
Okay, so we encouraged her not.
Another problem.
We encouraged her not to beat the number on
you
her
want
windshield.
you want to be as close to the number as possible without breaking out of that number.
Okay.
So you don't want to go faster. You just want to be as close as you possibly can be. So
I think we should get a little bit of credit though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bryttiany, you can do it. Bryttiany, you're almost there.
Hey, I guess in the backseat.
So
maybe we could try to hide you down there.
Well,
Keep the windows rolled up.
do you or your car have a name?
So my car has a name. I don't.
I think it should be bad, Bryttiany, but go ahead.
Well, the car is Big Booty Judy.
Go ahead, Big Booty Judy.
Yep, it's Big Booty Judy. And then every time we race, we always try to get the number 222 because it's my dad's birthday. So since it's his car, it's just one of those, I feel like everybody has that number that they see it all the time, or it's their good luck number or whatever. So his birthday is February 22nd. So I don't know, we started doing the 222 and it stuck. And so that's what we go with.
Do you only race at MIR?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're thinking about trying a couple other tracks just to see kind of what they're all about. But like I said, I'm still fairly new and I still make my fair share of mistakes. So I'd like to kind of get it.
That's why you need us in the vehicle for encouragement.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'd like to get it down a little bit better before I go to too many more tracks. But
make it a podcast.
Yeah. We're in the car. We're in and she'll probably can y'all please be quiet?
And then we both scream.
Slow down. So is it racing season right now? When is race? Oh.
No. So it starts back up in March.
Okay.
Yep. It starts back up in March. And then it goes pretty far into the fall time. It kind of depends on if they have to reschedule events or if they have to move things around. Obviously with weather, if it rains at all, you can't race. Even some wind, if it's entirely too windy and they have an event scheduled for a super fast kind of event, they'll have to cancel it. It's too risky. The crosswinds. Last thing you want to be doing is way faster than 100 miles an hour, and next thing you know, a gust of wind shoves you into a wall or another car.
We don't want that.
Yeah, that would be absolutely terrible. So, because a lot of things can go wrong really quickly. So yeah, but it'll start back in March.
Do you know ahead of time, this is the day I'm going to race? Or do you just wake up one morning you know what? I think I'm going to race today.
We typically, certain events we do, they have Ford Fever. And so even though it's a Mercury is a sub brand of Ford owned that company. So we always race a Ford Fever. So we know for sure we would do that. But then most of it is just, hey, I'm going to be around. Are you going to be around? And then also too, you do make friends. So that kind of plays into it too. If you know a lot of your friends are going to be there, then it's yeah, let's go, let's hang out. It's our version of a Friday night party. So.
Well, I appreciate this. I'm excited. I was so excited. I couldn't wait till this happened. I was so excited.
I've learned so much.
I know.
Not anything like I expected it. At all.
It's intimidating at first, but it's a lot of fun.
Is there a lot of spectators? Can we go watch?
Yeah. So anybody can go watch. Even if it's just Midnight Madness is kind of their routine. I wouldn't even really call it an event, but I guess it is an event. But you can go for even just Test and Tunes. They have things just called Test and Tunes and
just hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So to our listeners, if you want to see Bryttiany race, you don't know who she is, don't know what she looks like, just yell out her name from the stands. And if she waves and looks, you know it's her.
I know. Just yell out the car name.
Yeah,
Big Booty Judy.
It's written across the back.
The back glass. So you all have to go to MIR in Bucks Creek. What day of the week? It's Friday, Saturdays.
Most events are Friday, Saturday, Sunday type.
So go on a Friday,
not a Monday.
Go on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Look for Big Booty Judy. That's probably Bryttiany driving. Say, hey, Bryttiany, you heard you on the podcast. Go support her because Jen and I are going to discuss maybe we should get a car and
right.
And
we can
race.
do our own podcast car.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
And we are going to still work on.
It is already black, but my insurance again.
And we're going to work on being Bryttiany's supporter, even though she doesn't want it. We'll just get in the car. What's she going to do? Kick her out?
Right.
So thank you for tuning in. So we're going to say bye.
Bye, everyone.